So, I'm very excited on our next speaker because if you had me for my last class, there was one day I brought in a piece of paper to you guys, and I told you that we're going to vote, and on one side was Mr. President Obama, and who was the other guy running? Mitt Romney at that time, okay? And then lo and behold, we flip on the other side, I think it was the other side, or one long sheet, but we had a name by Jennifer Ong, and who is our next guest speaker. And so, but more than that, in our class, kind of meld our class into, well, what do I usually tell you to do, especially when you're looking at your computers? I tell you to Google it, right? So let me Google Jennifer Ong for you. And let me show you what she's been involved in, because she's been involved in quite a very elaborate and very interesting things. Especially, Jennifer Ong, I think we consider you within our generation, right? So it's it's something that we push forward to. So. This comes up, Jennifer Ong for State Assembly, and her website up as well. Okay. And the first thing I was gravitated towards was, her picture of her mom. Do you know where this is? Yeah. Oracle Stadium, which is in Oakland. And so it's very close. So Jennifer, it's one of her pictures up on the website, but another thing is this, under her media, she's very involved. So just a short clip right at there.
Eating the right foods can improve your eyesight. That's what our next guest is doing us right now is very optometrist, Dr. Jennifer Ong. Good to see you. So how big a role does our diet play in our vision?
A lot of the research definitely show that it plays a big part in how we can prevent certain eye diseases.
How about that? So
Yeah, what is it, the vitamins or the...
So you can guess which profession she's in?
There's some 6 key essential nutrients that have been found to be helpful for preventing certain eye diseases.
And what are they? Because maybe we can keep those in mind.
We want to look at, I like to kind of bring in the food first.
Oh, you're doing that? Okay. We've got the food share in front of us, so we can go through the list of foods and tell us what nutrients
spinach, very rich in antioxidants, lutein, and zeaxanthin. And that's going to be one of the more important ingredients for preventing macular degeneration. So that's early aging of the macula, the central part of our vision.
Would other dark leafy greens be good as well?
Broccoli, and very dark kind of colored foods, so corn, cows. I know a lot of people don't like greens, right?
Okay.
There's an option there.
Now,
It's kind of making me hungry, and but I wanted to do a little bit more justice to her. So, and in our website, I really like this one page, and I really want to share that. I really want to share this page. I just want to read it verbatim because I think it hits home to how she introduces herself best, and I don't want to butcher anything, but I think her quotes up here are very good because it really represents who she is and her beliefs. And so let me just briefly read this for you. So Dr. Jennifer Ong says, thank you for taking time to read my candidate statement. And of course, this is recently this last year, and learn more about my personal history, my policy interests, and my political views. My family came here from the Philippines, and I grew up in San Leandro, not too far away from here. My dad was a grocery store produce man, and my mom sold hot dogs in Coliseum. Their hard work enabled me to earn my doctorate, a DO, in optometry at UC Berkeley. And today I run my own practice, and I had the privileges of going to Alameda to see her clinic. It's very nice. My personal story shapes my policy interests. It all starts with jobs. My parents had good union jobs with health insurance for us. Every family deserves that. My good public education gave me the chance to attend a great university. Every child deserves the opportunity. As a health care provider, I care about health issues and why I'm so supportive of the First Lady's campaign against childhood obesity. My politics are simple. I believe in personal responsibility. Every person who can work should work. Every parent must be a partner with their children and teachers. Everyone should pay their fair share of taxes, nothing more and not a penny less. And every political leader should treat taxpayers' money with respect. I try to live my politics. I volunteered in Hayward schools. I donate health care to the poor. I started a grassroots campaign against hepatitis B. I volunteered on the Family Violence Council and Child Assault Prevention Program. I'm running for assembly to help others with what California gave my family and me. So we've been talking a lot about ethics lately, but Jennifer can certainly bring in the policies part of this, and I think she's. When I first met her, I was very curious because usually my dad, when he brings people over for political statements, they're around 50 or 60. It's kind of hard to relate, But when I saw Jennifer, I was like, she's about our age, So I was like, wow, I was very curious, So and I was very curious from the first day about her drive, her passion, what really brings her to try to make a change. Because most of us, we're not really interested in standing in the front, speaking to a lot of people, and running for politics. But there's this fire in Jennifer that piques my interest, and hopefully that she can share that fire and spark and bring a little spark in your minds and possibly hearts, and make it a change, a start. So without further ado, I'd like to bring Jennifer up and
So thank you very much, and so it is surreal when I see what I've done, what my family has allowed me to do, what this country has allowed me to do. I was just talking to Nanda about the program here, and I realize many of you are in healthcare and probably share the same story that I just shared, that Kim Yoo has just shared with you through my website. I came here from the Philippines when I was 11, and I would be older than you. I'm 43. I think I would be older than you, but I act more immature, so then I get away with being told I'm younger than I am. And it's really my passion, as Kim Yoo has mentioned, has stemmed from healthcare. And so many of you, according to Nanda and Kim Yoo, are already doctors. This was my passion when I was 3, that someday I would provide health care. So may I get an idea about so many of you are already doctors, is that correct? Can you go ahead and raise your hand? Okay, congratulations. Congratulations for being so selfless, because one of my motivations for running for public office is that there are so many changes in healthcare right now. You just heard what Sean said, all these rules. And the reality of it is, as you're trying to provide healthcare to your patients, if they don't have access to it, everything that you've learned, everything that you want to provide, the best care that you can provide to that patient, it doesn't matter, right? Because nobody advocated for them, and nobody advocated for you to be able to provide that care. So when I was 3, I was growing up in the Philippines, and we lived by a hospital. And so my dad's brothers and sisters, there are 10 of them, and most of them, 7 are in healthcare, either doctors or nurses. So that whenever they would do their clinic rotation, they would live with us. And I remember looking up and one day and saying to my mom, like, why are these people lining up outside our house? And she said, well, your uncle is studying to become a doctor, and the people can't afford to pay him with money, so they try to bring him like vegetables. Because I would notice like there's a long line and they all have vegetables that they were bringing. Well, he says, why are they bringing us vegetables? And she said they don't have money to pay him, so this is their way of at least trying to repay him. And she said, one day if you go to college, then you get a good education, you become a doctor, you can provide this thing called health care. And when my dad was growing up, his father had passed away. The 10th child was an infant. And so being that he was the oldest child, he was responsible for helping all the other children to finish their dreams. So he had to run the business for the family to help them with their dream. And in fact, last night we had just talked about with my family, it's my brother finally asked him, like, why didn't you become a doctor, Dad? Right? And you notice he was a produce guy at Lucky's. He's the guy that was fixing, you know, all the fruits at the grocery store when we came here from the Philippines. And in the Philippines, he was a professional. He graduated with a business degree. He managed many businesses and actually a plantation that our family had. My mother was working for a social security system, the equivalent of it, in the Philippines, and she was in administration, also college graduate. They came here, brought 4 kids, and I know you're familiar with this story. Started all over again, right? It was a pretty good life, except the politics there was horrible. It was horribly corrupt. When I was growing up, we had martial law. And we had all sorts of threats to our family. And they tried to shield us from us, but you can sense as a child something's not right. So no matter how financially it seemed like they were comfortable enough, they took that chance, joined the rest of their extended family, and we used to share one bedroom, all 7 of us, at my grandmother's house. Imagine, 2 professionals, great jobs. You know, I mean, my mom she was this socialite almost, you know, in the Philippines actually, but they sacrificed it, and she sold hot dogs at the Coliseum, and she was proud of that job because they had health care, right? We wouldn't have had that in the Philippines. We were always on the verge of, do you know the right people in that country to be able to then continue to succeed? Because you're always kind of looking around at who's going to be the next one that's not quite in favor with the government. So this reaction that I have from people like, why are you running for public office? You're an optometrist, you're young, you should concentrate on your business, concentrate on, you know, social life, right? And I said, we are so lucky to have had this, all this opportunity. And the last thing you want to do is keep taking and not giving back. So when I was in optometry school, what they taught us, and I did 4 years of undergraduate work and earned my health science degree at Cal State Hayward. At the time, it's now Cal State East Bay. And I said, I want to become an optometrist. I had my first eye exam when I was 11 years old. And when we came here from the Philippines, I had horrible vision. And I said, oh, so I can help myself and others like it. So I'm going to become an optometrist. So 11 years old, I knew that, and went to UC Berkeley for my optometry school degree for 4 years, another 4 years. And as soon as we started school, they said to us, in order for you to practice optometry the way you were trained, you must educate legislators, educate the public, because you are a legislated profession. So the rest of you here, I know what Nanda does, but what about, what type of health care are you in? So for those who didn't raise their hands that they are doctors, may I ask what type of health care? Biotech, okay. So there are really, oops, sorry. I was trying to time myself. Okay, so there are